There's a question out there that I think I take for granted. Every single year, I just do it and don't think about it. And the question comes up to me ever so often. How do you decide between direct seeding and seed trays? And that's a very good question. It's something I do without even thought. And let me tell you something. I have heard there's a lady that is a market gardener. I believe she's in California, and she starts everything in seed trays, everything in seed trays, which can be a little inefficient in some areas, and I'll show you why. So let's go around first and talk about why we put things in seed trays. So I'm going to go over to the propagation tunnel and show you the things that we typically put in seed trays, and we just get a better outcome. And the point of a seed tray is you're getting a plant to get off to a start that's a little bit more established, and then the plant can be transferred out of the seed tray into the ground. As simple as that. So first, let me show you the seed trays themselves. We use typically a 50 cell seed tray. You can see right here, these are the Winstrip trays from Neversink Farm, Neversink Tools. They're not a sponsor. We just like these, and I'll show you one of the two main reasons I like these. These are very, if you like to use the word robust, these are very robust. You'll get years and years and years out of them. You might pay a little bit more for these. You may not. I've seen others that I don't think are as good or as comparable, but you pay almost the same. And the other reason I like these is they have an open bottom. So when it's time to push that little seedling out, you can just put your finger in and press the seedling out. So that's the seed tray we use, Winstrip tray, Neversink Farm. You can check them out online. So typically things like spinach or cabbage or beets, as you can see right here, we always, not always, a few times we've direct seeded our radishes, but we typically start them off 3 seeds per cell. And we typically like to multi-sow. We'll put a couple of seeds in each of the cells. So if one doesn't germinate, you have a better chance. You can see they don't always germinate, but we're getting about a 90% germination rate. Over here is Swiss chard, lots of Swiss chard, beets right there. So here in the fall, we still have quite a few things still going. And so those leafy things, things that are typically going to go in our high tunnels, will start off in seed trays. So the next thing is, why would you next go to something and direct seed it directly in the soil out in the beds? And I'll give you one real simple answer. Is right here is a group of leeks. And sometimes we'll put onions, which is kind of its sister, its cousin. We'll start them off in seed trays. And I will tell you, I made the mistake when I first came out here as I started carrots off in seed trays. Well, onions and carrots and things like that are a root vegetable that, especially carrots, they like to go down deep. So it takes them a while to get established in a seed tray. And not only that, they're a very small seed that can be easily distributed out into a row by direct seeding. So remember those root crops like a carrot or like an onion, you're going to be better off more than likely most of the time just to go ahead and direct seed them. So let me give you the example. So now you see the things that we do, the leafy plants, the Swiss chard, the radishes, the spinach will start off and they get a chance to get established, and then we take them out and transplant them into rows. So let's take a walk down to the back of Whirlwind Family Farm, and I'm going to show you something that we have direct seeded. Now, as I'm walking down here, I'll tell you, in a small backyard setting, very small garden, you don't have to go out and buy an expensive seeder. Like we use a little Earthway seeder, which is, they're like $160, $170. There's a Jang seeder out there that's a little bit more professional. I think it's a little bit more of an exacting on its seed drops. Those things are certainly not needed for a backyard. Even the Earthway cedar, the Jangs, I think the last time I priced them, they were in the 700, 800. If I'm wrong, please put it in the comments, but I think that is right. They're fairly expensive. Do not need them for a backyard. Now let's go over to something that I direct seeded inside the high tunnels. And right there is a row of onions. And if you've ever looked at onion seeds, they are very tiny. And the Earthway seeder has a little seed plate that you put in the hopper that drops that size seed. And you can see I've got 3 rows. This bed took me probably 45 minutes to prep. get the drip lines out, flush them out, get the drip lines back in. The seeding process with the seeder took me 10 minutes tops. So that answers one of the big reasons right there. 50-foot row, 3 beds, seeds in the ground in 10 minutes. The bed preparation took longer than the actual seeding itself, and it's done. You can see that they're germinating quite well. If you come over to carrot seeds, again, carrots are a root plant that goes down fairly deep. So it's going to take them a while to even get established inside of a seed tray. So the same thing, these are very tiny seeds. This bed took me 30, 40 minutes to prep just to get it smoothed out, clear it off, get the lines off, get some new compost down. The seeding itself took me 10 minutes, I guarantee you tops. I remember the day that I did these, and now these carrots are well established. We have a good soft compost out here, so those carrots are able to grow straight down, so they were direct seeded. So that's why we chose a method of using the direct seeder. And again, in a small backyard garden, you can literally, if you look on the packet or you look it up with your search engine, and it says, okay, these are supposed to be 1/4 to 1/2 inch deep. You can estimate, doesn't have to be perfect. You can take your finger, make that 1/4, 1/2 inch, and then sprinkle your seeds in like carrots, like onions, or even beans. Beans are, I believe, 1/2 inch to 1 inch, like green beans. You make your row with your finger, drop them in. I think the distancing is supposed to be a couple of inches apart. Drop those bean seeds in, cover them up, water them, keep them watered so they'll germinate, and you're in business. You have direct seeded. You didn't have to have any sort of seed tray. And I will tell you, in big monocrop settings, they're not using seed trays. They're using a tractor with a seeder on the back, and that's how it works. All those things are direct seeded. So most everything can be direct seeded. It's just that you get for the money you've spent on seeds, you get a better chance of that thing surviving and doing better if it's in a seed tray. But again, when it's a large, long row of something, I'll give you a couple more examples. These are green beans, bush beans, and that is a 50-foot row. And me in this market garden setting, being down on my hands and knees and making a furrow with my finger is not efficient. So literally, bed prep, probably 30 minutes. Taking the seeder down this row was every bit of 10 minutes at most. Next to it, you'll see these are all turnips. Turnips, again, very fine, tiny seed. This is turnips, that's turnips. Right here in the middle, that is snow peas that was planted with the Earthway seeder. All these we use the seeder out here to direct seed. So one of the rule of thumbs in root plant, you're probably like a carrot better off direct seeding. If it's a tiny, small, multi-sown seed that's going to go down, and your beds may be 10 foot long, so that's not going to be hard to do with your finger, but that's a direct seeding situation, just like these turnips. And it's just a simple, easy, efficient way to get things planted. And it's a preference thing. And again, I will tell you, there are those gardeners, there are those market gardeners who use seed trays for everything. And for me, that's just not efficient on everything because as I'm walking along here next to these onions, you can see those were planted in a matter of minutes, and we kept them wet so they would germinate, and you can see they're doing quite well. So it's a matter of efficiency. For us, this market garden is a business, and me doing something a difficult, hard way just for the sake of doing it doesn't make sense. So that's why I spent $160, $70 on an Earthway seeder, because it saves me time and I could be working on something else. So that I hopefully translates over to what you're doing in your garden, and you can make that decision whether you want to direct seed something, just like we do with these beans that are right here in front of me, or if it's a Swiss chard or a spinach, or we even do it with beets. We put them actually in the seed tray, and you can make that decision what's best for you. So thanks for finding us here at Whirlwind Family Farm. Our goal on each one of our videos, as well as to be entertaining, is we want to be able to bring you a little bit of extra information that may be something I overlook. Sometimes I just talk about direct seeding and talk about seed trays interchangeably and don't give it a second thought. And a lot of people may say, well, how do you know when to do which? And that was kind of a long answer, but that's how we decide. Thanks for finding our channel. We always appreciate it when you like, subscribe, certainly hit that bell for notification. And YouTube will suggest another one of our videos right here. Check it out. It'll take you further along in that gardening process, and we certainly appreciate your time. Thanks again. Blessings over you, your family, your garden. Talk to you soon from Whirlwind Family Farm.